whatever endeavor they chose, and they have kids now that are playing volleyball, and that's the nice thing about being involved in athletics, is getting to know the kids and then seeing them develop and become successful in their lives. So in 1983, Dick McLean, when the association merged, Dori and I were very proud to be the very first college in the NWAC to host a tournament. And we hosted the volleyball tournament, and now our little gym was too small, but there was a wonderful athletic director at Hudson's Bay High School by the name of Jay Hoover, and we contacted Jay, and Jay said, hey, you can play your preliminary games down here at the Bay, and then you can have your championship games on the final day. And I'll be talking more about Jay Hoover before this evening is over. So we hosted that tournament, and that was great. We felt that we were bringing the NWAC to Vancouver, and we were showcasing the best teams in the NWAC. Dori, would you please come up here? Yeah. Dori was twice named Coach of the Year and twice won a league, and she had one team that went 12-0, which was the first team at Clark College in the modern era of the NWAC to go undefeated in league. And we're very proud of your achievements as a coach and the outstanding leadership that you provided to our women. Thank you very much, Dori.
Jay Hoover. Okay, my brain went. Steve. Jay Hoover. Okay, his wife is here. Stand up. So, just like throw that in there. I dropped everything up here. I haven't spoken for a big crowd. Well, too much. Okay, anyway. President Knight, members of the Hall of Fame Committee, Charles, supporters and fans, athletes, friends, and wow, what can I say? I am literally thrilled to be up here. I retired from full-time teaching in 2009, and I spent some pretty quiet days anymore around the old homestead. Last year I dealt with the adventure of going through endometrial cancer. And this Hall of Fame event has kind of revitalized my life in a lot of different ways. Growing up, my family, we moved a lot. By the time I was 21, we'd moved 24 times. My teachers meant a lot to me. In 9th grade, I had a teacher, physical education teacher, Mrs. Davis. She was just the nicest gal around and very compassionate. And I decided in the 9th grade that I wanted to be a physical educator, just like she was. My dad, who lived through the Depression, when I told him, he said, no, get a job. If anybody should go to school, it should be your brother. But that was that era. Well, I did get a job. I went to summer school, I went to night school. I commuted 100 miles a day for a semester to Miami University, Oxford, Ohio, and finally graduated. Cool. And my dad was proud of me. He was a stern taskmaster, and that's where I got a lot of this pushing stuff, We get it from our parents. And I think I had a wonderful father there and mother. Moving stuff up here. He taught me if you're going to do something, do your best. Strive for excellence and be a good sport. I've watched and been a part of women's sports evolving into the competitive games they are here today. I was one of the first people being honored in the state of Washington for being a Washington State volleyball pioneer. Not a dinosaur, but a pioneer. I can say we've come a long way, baby, from my school days. In my days, I've seen girls' athletics go from play days, which were fun, to the hard-nosed championship games that you see today being played. Gaydina Thompson, we talked recently, and she said, in our days, women really weren't given much recognition in anything they did. But times certainly have changed. When I first taught high school and was coaching, afterwards we'd have cookies and Kool-Aid, and we'd sit around and talk and visit, and I always thought that was pretty nice. Play was competitive, but it wasn't cutthroat. We didn't teach anybody how to cheat or to do this or that. We tried to win just on pure skill. I've experienced volleyball. When the ball would come over the net, you could underhand hit it to yourself and set it back over the net. Okay? That was my volleyball. You would serve mainly underhand. Well, I've seen it evolve into this power game now, where some player throws himself on the ground, diving down. The ball hits their hand, the back of their hand. It pancakes up. The setter comes around from the back, does a little jump set to the middle hitter that's coming in to pound the ball down. Whew, it's changed. Okay? But what makes me feel good, even in my night volleyball class at Clark, we play setter from the back row. And we have a few people that can throw down that pancake hit also. Oh, when I played basketball, where's Ken? Okay, when I played basketball in high school, you had 3 people at one end of the court, 3 people at the other end of the court, and you could go up to the middle line. You couldn't go over it. Oh, and another thing is we only had 3 dribbles, so we didn't have those ball hogging dribbles that you spoke about. Anyway, you would take it and throw it over to the other side, and it was like having 2 games of 3-on-3. Okay, but then I went to Miami University, and there was 2 forwards, 2 guards, and maybe, just maybe, there might be 2 girls that might have enough stamina to go up and down and rove up and down. But if they got tired, they could pass it off to the other person. So that's what basketball used to be like. We've come a long way. Come a long way when scholarships for girls were kind of a pipe dream and not necessarily laughed at, but it was just like, yeah, right? To full rides for gals and jobs. I started off my career by coaching 3 sports: volleyball, then I went to basketball, then I went to either softball and track and field. But when I coached the volleyball, I coached the freshmen and the JV and the varsity. Of course, I did that along with doing GAA, Pep Club advisor for the cheerleaders, all for the amazing whopping salary of $600. By the time well, that's okay. We've come a long way. Thank you, Title IX, back in 1978. Right? You younger people, do you realize that Title IX, what it said? It said there was going to be no discrimination according to the shape of somebody's skin. Even though Skeet had already brought sports for women to Clark, scholarships weren't available. My association with Clark is, like you said, in '72 when Skeet hired me to teach his night evening class. And I would like to right now thank Virgil Walter. Raise your hand, Walter. Virgil, or stand up for a second. He was in some of my first classes here at Clark College. So he deserves that. And his lovely wife is here, and I will say that his daughter was also a very fine athlete and played. Teaching. I love teaching. Anyone can teach an athlete, but to be able to motivate and inspire the less talented takes a real teacher. I believe my evening students know this. A teacher teaches more than their assigned subjects or sports. Teachers need to teach the whole student important, what Nancy would you say?
Life skills.
Life skills and life lessons. I'm always talking to them about it. After teaching at Ridgefield High School, I owned a restaurant for 9 years, I think, and I taught my night volleyball class. And when this position became available here, I missed coaching. And so Gaydina hired me. I believe that records, though, they stay for a while, but what is left forever are those memories. And new friends that become old buddies. The girls are, oh, is they going to be here tonight? Oh, is they going to be here tonight? And they're just getting together and talking. I think that's great. Records go to scorebooks, but memories and feelings last a lifetime. And I know that when I coached at high school and had that awesome record, thank Sherry Allen, because she was the junior high coach. So that always helped when you have a good feeder program. I love coaching too. I think I've coached some of the finest female athletes in Southwest Washington in my day. My players worked hard, always looked nice, and I know I'm a pusher. I know I'm very demanding, even in the middle school, Mr. Holcup. You know I was a demanding person. Right, Connor? I'm one of my old middle school kids here even. But the kids learned my father's lesson of the value of hard work, not complaining, and for heaven's sakes, not making excuses, and just doing it. When I coached high school, I had a little plaque on the wall and it said, do it. If I would have put it just in front of it, I could probably have been rich today. Nike would have not gotten by with that. I was proud that many of my high school players went on to play here at this wonderful school under Mary Lou Potter. And when they were over here playing, they didn't miss many serves because I was a terror on serves. You get the ball over the net. You miss the serve, you go run mile at the next practice. And I don't think I did that to the Clark kids because you don't treat the Clark kids as much as you did the middle school, but they knew the importance of getting the serve in. That game that we took second in at Walla Walla in 1979, when we took second place, Teresa, it took them 5 games to do that, didn't it? They went down to the wire and we almost got it. We were the Chicklets. Let's keep the Chicklets chiclicking. And we'd have some of those in the stands sometimes, and it was kind of fun. I love looking in the stands. I could see my mom and my dad and my wonderful Aunt Phyllis. They would be out in the crowd just cheering us on in what we called Penguin Pavilion. Roger Daniels, red hair, flying around and grinning and jumping around. Skeet O'Connor, his quietness was there. Bob Mosier. It was always fun. My mother, wonderful mother, would wash the uniforms and have them clean for every game. And that was nice because nobody ever forgot their uniforms and they were nice and clean. I know that we had a low budget when I got that job, and I bought much of the stuff for the kids. There was years I'd buy their tennis shoes. Or if we wanted, I was recruiting a girl one time and she said, do you play with the briefs, the bun huggers? Because I really like those. And this was Pam Hermel, who could hit the ball into the blocker on the other side. I watched her knock a girl over. And I'm thinking, yeah, we have them. Sure. Well, we had them the next season, that's for darn sure. I forgot. I also remember looking up in the stands, and there was this young man that would come in sometimes, and he'd wear a wig and a cheerleader outfit, and of course he's got a baseball ring now, Randy Myers. He was always a great supporter of all the athletes that would come here, but he was never afraid of making a fool of himself. And he looked pretty good in that wig, too. My players, one of my players that was on that championship team, Annette McKee, brought her sweatshirt. She said she doesn't really wear it, but she keeps it, and it's pretty good. Because she doesn't keep a lot of stuff. I keep everything. I've been sending stuff back to them since this all happened. But Cabello, that would be a cheer that would say, and that simply means kick butt all over. And, we were the undefeated league champions that time, and that was a big highlight of my career. Okay. Oh, memories. Driving the school van, okay? That was an experience because as I'd be driving along, the kids would be in the back telling all kinds of stuff that was going on in their life, and my eyes would go, and they get bigger and bigger, and I'm thinking, whoa, really? But I won't mention people's names. They worked hard, but I like to have fun, in case you can't tell. And driving we had snow sometimes, and I was not above, sorry, cutting cookies with the school van with the dean in there. I made sure it was safe, but it was, sorry, Dina, you didn't know it. We drank the guts sometimes after a game and honked the horn, but we never did some other things that some of the other players I've heard did, but I won't mention that. We would drive up to Aberdeen or some of these faraway schools, and it would take us so much longer to drive up there than it took us to beat somebody. The wind from the whistle at the first whistle to the whistle in the last 3 games, because it only took 3, took us 37 minutes. And it was just like, really? You know, but we had a good warm-up time. This is another favorite of mine, is during a match, I'm sitting on the sideline, I look out on the floor, and one of my players, the ball goes into the net. She stands down beside him. She pops the ball up high into the air. And what happened next should be go down someplace. It's the same girl. Jumped right up and boom, hit it over the net. I mean, like, that's so illegal. But everything just kept on going. Nobody really... We were on the bench saying, did that really happen? It did. Okay. We'd sing on the bus. Roger, you told me I could talk. Okay. And Charles is going, what the heck is he? But anyway, we'd sing. We could all say, no, don't say nothing bad about the chicklets. And then there was something else. Oh no, we love them so. Okay, that's it. Okay. We'd be playing boo-boo in practice, and this is when one person, there was like a firing line. You're just hit at the poor person, and Teresa was happy when I noticed her lips were turning blue and gave her a little break. I remember a tournament in Reno. Picture this. 12 players, 2 coaches, all the volleyballs, all the uniforms, all their suitcases, going on an 11-hour trip. Actually, it really was a lot of fun. But we added to our luggage because 5 of the girls went and won those 3-foot stuffed white lions, and they were shoving them back in there. Connie Pietla still has hers. It's at her mother's house. It's the memories that last. I was so proud when my girls would make first team and all league stars. Crystal Babbitt, could you come up for a real quick minute? I'm taking up some time here. I'm going through my stuff and I find this. Northwest NWAC certifies that Crystal Babbitt is hereby awarded this certificate for outstanding accomplishments. First team, Western Region Volleyball, 1985. It's a little late, but the thing is, she's got it. You know, we're not the same people from the beginning of our career to the end of our career. As we age, we grow as a person and improve our life skills. We change and become, hopefully, a better human being. We learn from books, classes, role models, students, Connor, from illness, and from each other to evolve into the person we are today. We make mistakes. I've made some doozies, but we need to go forward, and that takes courage and perseverance. Wisdom can be a hard-earned lesson. 42 years later, and Skeet, yes, I'm still here teaching that class. Gaydina, thank you for hiring me here for a fun ride at this Clark College, and for getting me into Alpha, Delta, Kappa, a women's educational honorary that does altruistic things. Raise your hand, girls. These are my girls. They're my sisters. Roger Daniels, thank you for all the support over the years. Physical Education Secretary, Kathy Slavin. You've been a godsend many times to me. You've trained me pretty well. I can now type out my stuff myself. I don't know, okay. And Marla, you've done a marvelous job, Marla here. And I know that this award couldn't go, it wouldn't happen without the many fine female athletes, local athletes, that chose to go to this beautiful campus of Clark College for a fine education. From the bottom of my chiclet AFib heart, I am so grateful to all my players, friends, and family that have come here tonight. This honor has me reliving my coaching career, looking back through files, writings, pictures, and newspaper clippings, revitalizing my retirement, but also my life. And most of all, this honor has validated my 9th grade decision to go to college and become a physical education teacher. Thanks for the memories.